what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo!
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin. Who cheated who, which engine
That
did he
ain't
hack in?
Mouse.
He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong. He scored a like from Truon. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes. True, not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic post.
Boom. Grad show. Oh, you need to capture a device, buddy. Here we go. Zoom. No, that wasn't it. That wasn't the right one. It's this one. There we go. So we're doing the graduates today. I had a special request from Olivier to take a look at him. I think previous grad show, I think I inadvertently missed him. So we're going to cover his situation today. As you can see, the man is boom. He's been working, mostly hitting well over that 7 hours. So he's really crushing it here. Quebec, I was going to say France. We got a little Quebec going on. So that's where the Olivier is coming from. Beautiful. And we do have 26 members from Quebec. That's cool to know. Yeah. All right, and we're going to look at some games here. He's got 22. He's got this one fairly recently. This looks like a OTB game. We'll give it a click. Oh, we did not have a time recorded. Of course, it would be nice to have that. All right. So next thing we want to do is we're going to hit L game review, which we're going to have to set up just real quickly here. And we go ba-boom. Oh, can we get a ba-boom? No, we don't want that ba-boom. That's a different ba-boom. Hold on, we need a ba-boom. There's my ba-boom. And a different ba-boom. So, great. Here we go. All right, so Olivier here is playing black. And knight c6, what he does is fine. Though, yeah, you should knock the knight around. You should knock the knight around. You undevelop that knight. Your move's fine. And here we should say that it's a little bit unfortunate what's happened to black here, where the c-pawn is not active in the center, and you just killed this bishop. So we're going to say white's a little bit better out of the opening, but he blows it with a tempo. Now, at this level, they are going to blow a lot of tempi. That's what they do. They could consider e3 or knight b5 as well. You're going to blow it as well. Now, just play bishop d6 if you're afraid of knight b5. Good. All right, a spicy move. Should you have castled? Oh, I really like castling much better than knight e7. So yeah, we're losing a lot of time. And he makes a bold decision to just castle here. It seems to me to make a lot more sense to play bishop to one of these squares. Then we have the option of playing this thing. We're in full control. So, okay, boom, boom. And now you said, screw it. I want to play bishop takes e5. After which, white is definitely going to be better. I think you should consider c5 here. Or castles. So now he's much better. Now we've transposed into a French structure. The go live was chess boxing still, as a quick heads up. Very strange, actually, with the chess boxing, because I saw something like that, and it was odd to me because, well, I don't know why. I didn't think we were streaming that thing. In any case, queen g4 is a good move, but g6 is not. You should just castle. Hey, you should castle, son. It's time to castle. And now you finally play c5. And he does a weird move, bishop e2. This makes no sense at all. Now, it is true, though, that white's position has become a little shaky in the center. And when you play a French, or you get a French structure, so that's often the case, especially at this level, that they're going to let you collapse the center. Right? So that's what I see happening here. Bishop e2 makes no sense. Good. Fine. You could do other things too, but this is fine. All right, now we get this endgame. He is not fixing his pieces. So h5 is a kind of a cool looking thing, but it's not fixing his pieces. Good move. Okay. Bishop c6. Why are we doing that? Let's play rook c8. I like king e7. Fine. It's a little slow, but you are doing things. And you say white is significantly better here. So for my money, I don't know if you play king d6, I think you're doing fine. Knight b6. Now, you're talking about the engine. Forget about the engine for a moment. By the way, king d6 fails to knight e4. Forget the engine for a moment. The question should be, why do you think white is better? Right? So you're saying the engine, blah, blah, blah. Right? And your opponent here definitely makes a little boo-boo. And now we have an interesting rook endgame. Rook c5 and definitely now rook d8. Now, notice here, this stockfish stuff isn't helping. So why rook d8 over rook d4? Because your rook on a8 needs to do something. Your rook on f4 is already doing something. All right. Boom. Now we have to worry about rook d1. And now we didn't. And now I think we're in big trouble. Yep, that's a very important pawn to lose. Another one, now you're just hanging all of the coconuts. The coconuts have hung. Now, at least we might have a shot at a dirty trick here with g3. That's good. Unfortunately, he just goes and snips. And so now, somehow black is going to win this game. I don't know how it happened. But it says black wins, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answers. So, Olivier, I hope that was helpful. It would help a lot if we had the times for this game. And I want you to see that both players weren't really sensitive to development or the collapse of the white center, right? So that's just something to think about there. Okay, good. Let's now go to El Grad Show. This was a game we were just covering actually in our live classes. That's why I have it up here. And it was, we do this game and profile review class. It's really fun. Today we were looking at Johnny Cassidy and his quest So anyways, that's why that's up there. We are now, though, going to go look for the news feed, view all, and if I remember right, yeah, the graduation this week is what we're going to call light. We're going to call it light with only 19 people. From recent memory, it's been like 30 something, and then I start losing my mind. I can't take it. My eyes start hurting. You know, we don't want any of that. We don't want Cry's eyes to be hurt. Okay, so let's get into it. Here's MG going up to 700. And also we're gonna see if I've asked for this game's annotated thing to be fixed. We're gonna see if it's how correct it is here. All right, so we're gonna give MG a follow. Would be cool to see some more stuff in here. So just sporadically logging their business. All right, an adult improver. And we have 0 games. So MG, hard for me to do much here. We need you to log some stuff and to put some games in. Next up, we have Karen Z. My second graduation since I fully committed to the program in January. I just finished playing in the Lead Chess Lone Wolf, winning 3 from 6, 95th overall after missing the first 5 games. I was happy with this as I am one of the lowest rated players in the league. I'm now committing 2 hours at least a day to practice and training in preparation for the next season. Amazing. I'm currently struggling to adapt to OTB from online. The second to third dimension seems so strange, so I'm also playing some puzzles OTB. Any tips for this would be greatly appreciated. Love the program. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. All right. So, very common to have this problem. Now, in the YouTube chat, oh my God, it's going crazy here with James Cahan and people going back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Can you study my game? So basically, this show has been going on for years, and I look at the games of players and their profiles of players who have graduated. So gone from like 300 to 400 to 400 to 500 as an example, right? So those are the games that I'm looking at. And, you know, it's not inscribed in stone that I'll go over these games. It's just a cool thing that I thought, I've been doing for years. So it's also a way for me to kind of, let's say, listen to Karen Z say some stuff about the program and his struggles, and me understanding those struggles helps me, help further refine the program. But in any case, someone got mad because I didn't look at one of their games, and I don't look at them if they're not annotated. So I'm just saying it's not a guarantee I'm going to look at the games, but I definitely need them to be annotated. And the person complaining was right in that we don't really stipulate anywhere like, oh, you have to have the game annotated. All right, so here he goes, 602, looking good. And you can see Karen Z is really doing well, especially since he had a New Year's resolution. And yeah, he's doing 10 hours. He just switched to 10 hours a week, which is beautiful. And with that kind of commitment, we expect his rating to further go up. Notice, he was kind of flat until January when he went hectic with the study, and now it's on a pretty good progression, very good progression. Okay, so Nordovich, you were doing chess boxing, bud? Nice. All right. Okay, so let's look at Karen Z here. He's got a bunch of games. Here's a recent game. And this is this Lone Wolf League he's talking about. And the first thing we will observe is that both players are moving too fast. I'm not going to give it's not annual, my weekly speech. Weekly speech yet. We'll give it later, but you can see here that the main problem, whatever we're going to say about how these people played, their main problem right now is they're moving too fast. All right. Little funky. And now here is a mistake, bishop f5. It makes a lot more sense to play bishop g4, and I'm convinced the reason this guy plays bishop f5 without thinking about it too much is he has learned that this is the correct response here. But if you're going to be given this situation, of course you want to get rid of your bad bishop and pin this knight, which you can't do in the other position. Okay, so here we go, bishop f5. Now we've transposed to that advance. This is the old variation, fine. c5, okay. Pawn takes. And this is, I think, very risky, queen b5. You're saying queen b5, knight d7 is a mistake. He's got to play knight d7. And when so queen b5, you lose a tempo because he's going to develop the knight. Then when you take the pawn on b7, you're going to lose another tempo. So it's very frisky what you're doing. More sensible probably is just to castle. And there's another tempo that you lost. And now we're going to lose another one, knight e7. And now your opponent, I guess it's good news for you. He trades the queens. I don't think he should trade queens. No way. No way trade queens. All right. So boom, boom. Castles. Now, here's the thing. In general, you want to keep the king active in the middle when you reach the end game. So in general, we'd want to maybe put it here. So your position, it's interesting though. He does have, even though it's an end game, he does have compensation for the pawn. Because this guy's weak and this guy's weak, and he's going to put a rook on c8 soon. So castles, castles, knight c3, knight g6, interesting stuff. Rook e1, and now bishop d4, full blunder. This is one of the reasons we say don't be studying openings here, because people are going to be blundering like this. Right? When they blunder, I want you to try to say what you think they should have done. I think bishop a5 might be a good move. Thank you, Alan. I am grinding. All right, so he wins a pawn, but then this happens to him. Good move. And now he's going to hang another piece, and we're going to say thank you very much. Rook e1. He's just fearful. Now, to be fair, as long as you don't lose anything dramatic, this can't be bad. And he just basically resigns here. Okay, good. Now, you need to slow down, and you need to think about development. So this, I want you to at least see the queen b5 is very controversial. All right. Okay, so let's give this a mark, a reviewed mark. And now we're going to talk to Mr. I don't know how to say it. Mr. Commands. Let's call him Mr. Commands. That's what we're going for. He doesn't have much listed, but we're going to go take a look. So, great. No, he's been here for a while, but hasn't really logged much. And he's got some clubs, nothing. No games. Okay. So, Mr. Commands, we need to see some stuff, buddy. We can't help you out. We can't help you out if you don't got no stuff. All right, so there it is, Mr. Commands. And now, my good friends, we're coming to a hero of the dojo, Andy, who is also known as, I think, Bavarian Blunderworks is the other name he goes by. Let's read what he says. Happy to report that I have crossed into the next cohort. I think that the game and profile review with Team Morphe has played a key role. My Team Morphe buddies are all in a similar rating band compared to my ChessCom opponents. However, the level of chess is higher in the dojo. I still lose quite a few games due to blunders, but the blunder frequency has gone down quite a bit and chess skill has improved. Thanks, Jesse and Team Morphe. Yeah, so we have these really cool sessions called the Game and Profile Review. I encourage you to try it out. And Team Morphe existed kind of before the Game and Profile Review, a really close-knit group of players. And, you know, they've had amazing progress. They're enjoying each other's company. And so because that was so cool and successful, I was like, well, we got to institute this, you know, dojo-wide. So that's how we, you know, they were the kernel of the Game and Profile Review courses that we have now out, as well as we've got the live classes. Well, the lecture classes, I should say. We also have those. Okay, so let's go take a look at Andy. And look at that graph, dude. Oh, man. He's crushing. Now, as an example, when we do the Game and Profile Review, we'll take I'll take a deeper dive and talk to Andy about his training. And you can see it's very tactics heavy. So I'll leave that for when we do the Game and Profile Review. But, you know, when I do these things at the graduation show, of course, I can't do that much. We have so many players who are graduating. And I'm just taking a cursory look at the game, a cursory look at the training, trying to say something helpful. And then the Game Profile Review, right, we're going to go much deeper and try to... I got distracted. We try to go much deeper, and the peers also have something to say. I got distracted because Glyphosate said I need to turn up my mic. Tell me if that's true. It feels, when I'm looking at my little bars here, it seems like my mic is doing good, but maybe somebody else can give me confirmation about the mic. And Anne-Marie, known as Ladybug, is in the YouTube chat talking also about the Game and Profile Review. All right, so let's get into Andy. Beautiful stuff going on here. And honestly, you can see he's going up quickly now. And I think that we're going to see, you know, I think he'll make the next jump again fairly soon. You can see here in his graph that just in early February, he had the graduation before this one. Okay, let's go games. I think we're going to go my games. Good. And let's choose this one here. So, as you can see, we have a typical game where both players are not using enough time. Very typical. And it's a good piece of news that the dojo player spent more time than the non-dojo player. So Tapioca King says, more volume. I'm trying my best. Tell me if it got better. Tell me if it got better. Why? I have had, for a long while actually, sometimes I feel like I got a little bit of a volume problem. And I get distracted by it. Okay, so tell me if that helped. And we're going to get into it. Now, this is actually my time for my speech. So in the Morphe group, which is basically players under 1,000 dojos, so that's like 1,250 ChessCom, okay, there are three things that are basically holding people back. And it's nice to know what the three things are, because if you don't know what the three things are, it'll be confusing to you, and you'll be running around trying to do this and that and the other thing. There are just three things. Number one, your hanging pieces. That's the most important. It's also the hardest to learn, because it's not just you're hanging pieces every move. No, but if you hang pieces just once, it's a real bummer. It turns the game around. As an example, the game we're going to look at next time with Andy, he's playing Steven from the Morphe group, and Steven played a great game, but then hung a piece, one move, ba-boom, game was over. So that's the most important. Number two is this clock graph here. People moving too fast. If you move too fast, you aren't using your time. And if you're not using your time, you're not thinking. Right? And number three, developing the pieces. We're going to see, I see it already, that white is going to fail to develop their pieces. It's one of the more common things that you're going to face when you destroy these people. From a competitive standpoint, we're going to beat them because we use our time and because they don't develop their pieces. Whether we are better than them in terms of not hanging stuff, that's a skill that we need to develop. The other two things are more up to us. They're in our firm control. All right, let's get into it. Game review. So, boom. Bishop c4. You see this all the time at the lower levels. Good move. Killing the bishop. And now another bad move, not developing. And I think Andy should just whack him. He does this first. I still think we should whack him. He plays knight f6. And good, we do it. So now we are up a gazillion tempi here. Just a gazillion tempi. We're doing great. Now bishop d7, I'm not thrilled with. I would rather just castle, put the rook here, give him some questions. But all right, development takes. I don't know why they're taking. d4, what's the problem? It's not a developing move. Okay, rook e8, very nice. Castles. And now h6, I don't like h6. Now the first obvious thing to say here, Andy, is you could have taken, and regardless of how he recaptures, you win a pawn. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Tapioca King, for telling me I'm a little clearer. I feel better about it. How come I'm on the low side? I've got it. Wait a second. Yeah, I've got this cranked. I've got this thing cranked. How come? How come I'm not cranked, buddy? I want to be cranked. Oh. Develop for the love of Morphe. Dr. Pop is in the chat. All right. I'm going to I don't know. I'm going to try to figure out this mic problem. Old man is having a mic problem. Okay. So, one of the things to say is when they hang tempi, they will often be hanging something tactical, like this, where we're whacking the queen in a discovered attack. h6, knight e5. Takes, and you say black is a little bit better. We have lost a lot of our development advantage, however, when we gave away the time. We also lost the tempo on bishop d6. I don't know about that move, but I definitely know that this is a pure loss of tempo for a4. If he's concerned with bishop b5, what should he do? Knight c3. If he had thought longer, maybe he would have found it. All right, b5. Now this move gives me the heber-jeebers. It's the heber-jeebers with this thing hanging out here. Now again, what's the most natural move for white? Knight c3. Instead, they fails to develop. Pawn takes, a5. I'm just getting the hebers. I get it. It's probably not possible for him to do it, but it's giving me the heebie-jeebies. All right, knight d2. Now knight d7. Just getting spicier all the time. And now his opponent just blunders the piece away, or the pawn away with this move. And our dojo player says, thank you very much, I'll take that pawn. Very good. Now, this move, rook takes, is fine, because we're going to win the pawn on a4. Good. And now, one of the things I would say is black is winning. And it's because we're up 2 pawns. But also notice that this rook now, we really want to call him developed. He's developed now because he's behind this thing. And we should really focus on just pushing that baby. Good. Push him. Good. Okay. Good. Bang. And what did I say? What did I say? I said that these people were going to be hanging things. First he hung a pawn, then he hung a rook. That's where these games are decided. So yeah, Andy's doing great. And, you know, he's playing, they often spar against each other in this Morphe group. And I think because, you know, they're getting better playing each other, it's when they go and play, you know, online to some random person, they're going to hurt that person, you know? They're going to hurt them real bad. Okay, so well done, Andy. We'll talk about your game with Steve, I guess, on Monday. Here is Kuba. Finally crossed the 1500 Lichess. It's been a great journey so far. I've fixed the layout. Feeling ready for the new challenges in the 7-800. Let's play some training games. Okay, let's go take a look. So, Kuba. Now, he's been busy, as you can see. And is he from Cuba? I don't think so. If we could get, I guess they probably don't have a Cuba dojo club. But the Cubans, they got a great chess culture. Now, here's something that I'm a little confused about. It says classical 17, my game 0. Just important. It's very important to put the games that are serious, that you want to think about, to put them in the My Games folder. All right, so what do we got here? We got a 30 plus 20. We'll take a look at this thing. All right, so let's keep the time graph open because I really like that Mr. Kuba, maybe that's where it comes from, Yanyak. That's where maybe it comes from. Let's keep it open. I like it when the dojo player uses their time more wisely. And so here we go. No mercy for the rando. F3, very fancy. Yeah. Very fancy again. Very fancy. And the problem with this kind of Yobava stuff is it often goes wrong because we're not developing in a, let's call it, normal way. All right, knight h3. There's some big questions here. He plays a6, basically gifting a tempo, right? A6 isn't it. C5 comes to mind. Loss of time. Now bishop d3. If you were going to do this, I would say maybe h5 first. Okay. Loss of time. Just castle. Knight b4 isn't going to do anything to you. Now he's getting frisky with the knight. Okay. And you go ahead and you hit him. Now, big moment here. I've already thought longer on this decision with g5 than you did playing it because you played 38 seconds. E4 also really comes to mind as a very simple, good move here, threatening e5. Okay. This seems like, yeah, we're just developing the rook. And so as an example, you know, white played the super fancy opening, but it's hard to hold it together. There's it's a little bit involved, and now all of a sudden white is better. Knight e2. If you don't like knight e2, tell us what you do like. That's terrible. I think it doesn't look right to me. He's just fixing your knight. Well, I don't know what it was doing. Castle's long makes a lot of sense for him. Knight c4 makes some sense. All right, then we're blundering some stuff. G5 may be strong. Knight g2. Here, I think you can consider. No, there's no considering. I was gonna play rook here, and I was like, oh, the rook's gone. The rook's gone. That's why it's not there. All right. So castles. Simple moves for black. We're all tied up. And now we're lost. Check to the miserable king. And that's how Kuba went down. And we want to say that in the end, you know, you ended up using your time. There was some tactical problems, but what I want you to see about this fancy opening that you played is you're trying to gain space in a very unconventional way where your position is loose. That's why it's very hard to play this position. One of the reasons I would want you to play more solid or conventional, boring chess, right? I just see this all the time. You get this Yobava thing, and then people lose the grip as you lost it, right? Okay, good. So that was Mr. Kuba, and now we're on to Paul. Paul doesn't tell us much. Let's go look. 880, 57, Hampshire, and taking up with his youngest son. Beautiful. He's doing a lot of tactics, and he's got a pretty reasonable tactics rating over here too. We got a Hampshire club. That's what I want to see. I want to see the Hampshire club. He's a 50 plus. That's a good club. All right, games, Paul. Here it is. We got some games. This is ancient, though. So this is an ancient game. And that's the other thing. I don't want to cover games that are too ancient. But, Paul, I'm hoping we can get some more games in here. Yeah. All right. And in general, the idea is, it's not really working fully now, but the idea is when I see a 0 here, that I wouldn't even look at the games, because that would be, the 0 is for recent games that are annotated. But I think there's still some bugs with that, so we're still working on that. Yonatas, here we go. Yonatas also doesn't tell us a whole lot. Let's give him a follow. And yeah, they joined recently. Oftentimes when people join, there isn't anything, and we're not getting anything. So Yonatas, tell us something about yourself. Give us a game, give us some activity here, and then we'll take it from there. All right, next up we have Knight, 1689. And he joined fairly recently and has been at it, as you can see. Graduated a bunch of times. You see what happens? You join the dojo and then boom, progress just happens. Progress just happens. Oh, thank you. This is from Kurib Dalolalala, like my video about group classes. Nobody likes it, though. In terms of views, it got very few views. So if you could go watch my video, I would very much appreciate it. In fact, let's go give it a shout out. Because, I do all these videos, and sometimes you don't know what people are going to like. But I thought this was a good video, so it's glad that we have at least somebody appreciating. All right, I'm going to go obnoxiously. I'm going to put a link to this thing in the chat here. So let me grab it. Boom. And we'll put it in the YouTube and the Twitch chat. Please go give that thing a watch after you're done watching this, of course. All right, so there it is. So here we are with the Knight. He's doing great. It would be great, he just joined, but it'd be great to know something about him. No clubs. Sometimes I look at the clubs to see what people are on about. No games. So, Mr. Knight, Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, we want to see more. We want to see a little bit more. All right, now we have a famous dojoer. This is King Gambit, and he says, this graduation took the longest. I finally decided to get serious about tactics. I was doing a ton, but I wasn't mastering them. So I pulled a Neil Bruce, made a bunch of index cards, and woodpeckered them. The biggest thing lacking in my training has been actually playing games, so I committed to playing an OTB tournament a month. I already played my first and am signed up for the next one. Once I have enough games so that my rating is not provisional, I will switch to my USCF rating. Great. This is someone who has gotten serious. And one of the things about this story that I think is inspirational is, King Gambit, he was flying up forever, and then, finally hit a little bit of a wall, which everybody's going to hit that wall. And then, really doubled down when he got there. I think, we'll look at his profile some, but I think him playing an OTB tournament a month, that's way more, the tactics is great what he's doing, but that will be the thing that will make his game really progress. All right, so here he is, King Gambit. Like me, he's got some dad stuff going on. We just did a podcast yesterday about whether kids kill your chess. Because Naka just had a kid, so we're going to be talking a lot about the candidates tournament coming up. All right, So, King Gambit, you can see all that shaded green. Those are tactics that he is doing that are non-dojo tactics. But presumably he felt he really needed to improve his tactical skill to get up there. Probably he hasn't done any of these things recently, because I would think like his puzzle rush would probably be higher. And then even if King Gambit, you don't get your well, you'll get your rating soon, but you should put the USCF up here. You know, you don't have to make it your preferred rating, but you put the USCF up there for us. For us, me to see how it's going with the OTB. All right, Lichess 2. You might be surprised. The Lichess ratings are all funky. And actually, we are going to do a new rating conversion. We have a statistician working on that. And I'll be really interested to see if there's wild shifts in the Lichess ratings, because that's what happened last time, too. Last time we did a rating conversion. All right, Indiana Dojo, lifting heavy things. That's the one. I got a vid coming out about that too. That's the one where the most per capita graduations happen in that club. So looking good. Now here's the King Gambit. Now, this is confusing to me, but I'm going to hit this My Games where they should be. And we got a game against No Name. Let's go look No Name. All right, first, we do have this. And, okay, good. So, reasonable clock usage. It's a shortish game, so we don't mind too much, but maybe it could have been longer. We'll see in a second. Let's go game review. Ba-bam. All right, here we go. E4. A6. F4, fine. D3. Fine, you're still doing okay. Boom. Poor, not a developing move. All right, it's an interesting question what you should do. You decide to take. He loses 1,000 tempi and gives you the pawn. You say thank you very much. Good, take that thing. Now, big momentito, you play knight f3 pretty quickly. We will say that Black is really pushing their luck with the development here. Also, your center control is amazing. I am not immediately certain where you should go. I would have to, you know, if this was my position, I would believe in my position, but I wouldn't know exactly like, hey, well, what is it that I'm going to do? Yeah. Just looking. C3 is real interesting, too. Okay, so here we go. Boom. This is very dangerous for Black because they are trading off their good bishop. So notice this one's bad, and then this one, if he trades it off, all of the dark squares are going to be weak. Simple developing move. He does this. And what do we got here? We have somebody who doesn't understand development. So one of the things that King Gambit is going to face again and again is this kind of player who doesn't know how to develop. Thank you very much. That's another tempo. And now you played f5, which is the thematic move in these positions because you want to get your rook involved. So you get props for that. Knight c4 also looks very strong, though, because we're just looking at all those dark squares. All right, takes, d6. And now bishop g4. I don't like bishop g4 much because the bishop is a victim on g4, not doing all that much. So we would have wanted to find something else. Yeah, f6 looks very strong. Okay. Poor, not helping. So now your bishop is at least protected on h3. Was not protected before. Knight d5, again, not developing. Check to the miserable king, can't be that bad. That isn't it. Thank you. Thank you. Now you're clearly winning. Let's see if you can shut him out. Good chess. I don't know what that does. Fine. Okay, I would have preferred knight of 3, but okay. Okay. No one knows what he's doing. Oh, look at that. Dang, he's getting fancy. This man has gone fancy with us. And he even wins on time. Now, one of the things we should say is, of course, White's winning in this position. But the fact that he knows, let's say, this pattern with the mate on, let's just show what the pattern is, that he knows this pattern, that speaks for this tactical skill that he's been developing. Of course, at this stage of the game, we don't really need that bishop e6 to be winning this position. But, of course, it's nice to have it. Okay, one of the things I want to stress about this is King's Ambit. King Ambit will be playing a lot of players still who give away time like this guy did. It's just like again and again and again. And then we want to become good, expert at eliminating them. That's what we want to be doing. Okay? All right, well done, King Ambit. So we're going to go back, hit the Grand Show button. And now we have Dome Vaz, who did a lot of work and has some games for us. So this will be interesting. This is a player I don't know. Well, it does say I'm following him. No, he's graduated a bunch of times before. So I must have covered him. Now we have a nice OTB rating chart. As we go up the ladder, we'll see more and more people doing OTB. As, for example, King Ambit got stronger, he's like, well, it's getting time. It's getting time for me to do the OTB. All right, SF Bay Area, home of the dojo. Here we got some games. And we want the games to be here. Okay, everybody, I realize this is a problem. We got to put our games into the My Games folder. Don't put them randomly in this one. So, look at that. Very good. Okay, so notice this is a game that he put in manually with the clocks. It seems too much when you first do it, but you can see that Dominic did it very well here. All right, so here we go. Yeah. In general, the problem with fianchettoing against this is it's not the end of the world, but you are hitting a wall over here. I don't like g6 as much because now at some point you can play knight h4. So e6 is more natural. Okay, and now you took. I think this is fine. Now, in general, we don't want to take because we don't want the knight to be able to go to c6, right? Whenever they play c6, they've got a bad knight. But I think your intention here is to say that if cd, we have this trick because here we have this with L intermezzo either here or here. So knight d5, good. And you've just won a lot of time. And you can already play e4 here. You play rook d1, it's fine. Queen c8, a miserable move. And notice what you should see about this bishop h3 is like your bishop, especially after you played e4, your bishop on g2 is not the greatest piece. And so him playing bishop h3, you should be like, well, thank you. That guy wasn't doing anything anyway. Good. Your king's doing great. Again, he's not developing. Great move. This is how we hurt them when they don't develop. Knight d5. Now, maybe knight d5. But the problem is after his move, rook e8, he could have played queen d8 too. It's not clear exactly where we're going. All right, so you retreated. And he pushes e5. Probably good. Well done, black. So if we go back, white obviously has a massive position here. And it's not super easy to know how to deal with it. If knight d5 does nothing special, we want to consider e5. That's a nice move. Intending maybe e6. We want to consider h4. So clever by black, and now it seems like he solved most of his problems. Knight g5 looks superficial. Good. I like that. Probably bishop f6, though, instead of bishop g7. Rook d3. Now rook d3 is interesting. Notice that knight c4 looks very strong. Okay. Okay. A little weird. I guess you're trying to say that if you don't want rook cd1 because of knight c5. Frisky. I don't think they should be opening the position like this. You played queen b3. We can also think about f5 here. There you go. It's at least incredibly dangerous for the guy. You said no, that's all me. You said no, that's me. This doesn't seem right. So there's no possible world where we want to be trading queens here. No. No puedo. No lo puedo trade of queens. Queen c2 comes to mind. I'm sure there's other moves. Oh no, we traded queens. Now he's alive. Now he's totally alive. Here we're just kind of, let's just say we're moving around a little randomly. There's a lot of check to the miserable king happening, and then we lost our coconut. So, bummer. Okay, bummer. I want to stress a couple things. Your opponent did not develop their coconuts, so as we saw in the other ones, other graduations today, it's taking advantage of that, which is a key skill you need to master. And when you get that king over here, we ain't trading no queens now. I don't know what we're doing, but we ain't trading no queens. Not in this position. Okay, so we'll mark that. And we got BB next. Hello, Sensei. Please review my game with Benezra. I defended the dojo's honor in the Elite Chess Ladder 6030, previously known as Solar Boy Imp. But now he's just BB. All right, so let's check BB out here. Uh-oh. Oh, I blew it. I blew it. He's a steps method enjoyer, coconut destroyer, trying my best to evade allegations of true crime. There we go. So, 1332. I'm going to pop this out. He took a break in August. He's been a little sporadic, but he's basically on target here. Slowly making progress on the lead chess. Okay, so clubs. He's into the chess steps. He's a coconut destroyer. And he's got one game. All right. He's playing a guy who's actually got her Bobby coconuts. I think he is her Bobby coconuts here. So, that's right. He wanted to look with Benezra. All right, first question. We got 1 plus 30. So both players took their time in this game. That's good to see. At the end, maybe we can see a little anxiety by white by moving too fast, but otherwise, a thinker. We have ourselves a thinker. All right, let's go game review. Ba-bam. And we'll get into it. Fine. Beautiful. And now c4. Okay. And now bishop e3. I think I approve this message. And now we're going to hit him with knight c3. Good. And now you go castles. Good. Now you have a nice little advantage. You could consider d5 because instead of castles, because now e6 he stops d5. You played a3. Well, I don't know. I think I understand where you're coming from though with this. That's not a developing move. b4, good move. e5 doesn't look right, And now you played d5, which looks good. So e5 is like a desperation situation. And now you're just raging him. The pawn on ace, like you criticize knight d4, but he's hanging the a7 pawn, all kinds of stuff. So you said thank you. Queen d1, that's a weird move. And then you talk about bishop c5. You got loads of moves here. Rook fe1 can't be wrong. Weird. G3 seems more logical to me. Now we got maybe a little grief. Good move. Okay, good. Bring the lady to defend. And now you got a little aggro. You got a little aggro. All right. Now, black could do a couple things here. Rook g6 is the most obvious. However, he takes and you lose your mind here. So, we wanted some variations. I like this. And you say perpetual at least, but also mate. I think it probably is also mate. Let's just continue. No. Let's continue just for a second. Here. It's probably mate. Boom. Mat. So we played this queen f6 move, and it's funny because the guy has one idea, and bishop takes g3 is a real exclam situation. But you're in full control of the position still if you just play like knight e4. Anything, honestly. Right? Okay. Queen f6. You snip. Now he's winning. Queen g4. I don't know if I understand queen g4. I don't understand queen g4. h5, h4 makes a lot of sense. Okay. Black's kind of fooling around here. There we go. He doesn't know what he's doing. Boom. All right. So, maybe black can get away with this. It would be unfair if they could. So, check. He b2, very spicy. Now, what we should say is minimum you have rook b8, king d7, knight f8. You might have other fancy things, though. Okay. So, knight f4. Check to the miserable king. And now his queen is out. I don't understand a lot of these moves, but the queen is out. All right, so this is a winning position for black, but they got to be a little careful. You're kind of, it feels to me like random checks. Uh-oh, look at that, baby. Got him. That's what he gets. That's what he gets when he plays the dojo. Now let's go back quickly and look at the time graph. And you can see both players there weren't able to live on the increment. And that just means, like, you get to those end games, you need to think and use that 30. You get 30 seconds. You can see both players had time to spare at the end, and that's where it is decided. Uh-oh, and he's saying, where's the game, bro? Oh, fudge. I did this whole thing. It was a great analysis. It was a great analysis, dude. It was a fantastic analysis, but my window capture went wrong. So there was this game. Oh, sorry about that, my friends. Sorry about that. Oh, it was a great game. Oh, I'm sorry, my friend. This is Jesse's Coconuts versus Progress over Rating 2. Look at this. All right, so I'll just breeze through it. He played great. Played a great game. Here, D5 is what I was talking about. E5, ridiculous. Now you're winning. And then we made some funky moves to allow all this to happen. And then Queen F6, and then we were lost. And then somehow from this one, we won. All right, sorry about that, my friends. How did it happen? I don't know how it happened. If I knew, I would tell you. All right, so I now need, see, that was right. That was right. I don't know why it got me wrong before. All right, we got to go newsfeed. Ba-bam. All right, so we did BB, and now the famous James Wang. Now the famous James Wang. Okay, James Wang is famous. I'm pretty sure he wrote me. Let's read what he's saying. Currently a busy high schooler, unable to play OTB for a while. Playing and analyzing a lot of Rapid recently, which explains the vacant heat map. He's working on the Yusupov books, working with Yaroslav Zerabuk. No, that wasn't long-winded. Okay, so let's go look at James Wang. He posted a sensei question asking if he could become a title player still, if he worked a lot in his gap year. So we talked a little bit about that. If you're on the dojo, you can ask a sensei question. Clubs, he's in the Austin dojo. We got some people. That's a strong dojo. That's where our main developer, Jack Stengline's in that thing. Okay, so he's maybe not logging all of his stuff. We're going to take a look at some of these games here. Here we got a game. Great. So it's a FIDE rated game. And of course we want you to put the time in. All right. So let's take a look. This is James Wang here. All right. Little weird to play C5. E5 is the correcto mundo move. And is it still, I think I'm in the wrong thing again. See, there's something wrong with the way OBS is doing this. Hold on. It's like I don't know. The usual way of operating procedure is all messed up. All right, so this is an interesting position to talk about. He calls this transposition into a reluctant Benoni, as Shanklin calls it. And what's important to understand is that black is actually in real big trouble here. This knight is misplaced. It's hard for him to achieve e6 because of DE. All right, so here we go. Fine. I don't like bishop d2. Bishop f4 makes a lot of sense. Queen c1, poor. And what James is doing here, that we can now see in hindsight, is he's saying to himself, oh, it would be really cool if I could play bishop h6 and trade off the bishop. And a couple things we want to say about this. Your dark square bishop is your best piece. You've got all these pawns on light squares. You need the bishop to cover the other color. Your pawns make it so you can slide in and out of those pawns. So now you're going to invest 1,000 tempi into trading that guy. Apparently you're going to play bishop g5 next, but still, I don't know why we need to play queen c1 if we're going to be bishop g5. All right, a5 maybe. I'm getting nervous here though. E takes, and he plays bishop f5. Knight e4 also looks good. Knight h4, and now bishop d7. Black should definitely consider knight e4 here. Makes me nervous. And black now loses their mind with knight h5. Yeah. Okay. So loss of mind, official here. Good. Bishop f6. Now, you should consider, Well, knight f5 should be a variation anyway. This, oh no, now he's fine. Now you say h takes g6 is a major problem. I don't see it immediately. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but h takes g6 looks fine to me. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. This is the problem that he's seeing. Okay, good. So it is true then. It is true. All right, so knight g6. Knight takes. And now maybe this is a computer line, but this is clever. The point being that we draw the queen to f6 and make it difficult for the knight to mess with him. So now we get this. It was not obvious to me just at a superficial glance that this was the end of the world, but now I see it. Good. Simple chess. It's over. Good. Thank you very much. D6 looks great, but we're not going to complain. We're not going to complain about any of that stuff. Yeah, just take it all. Okay. Well done, James. And besides the queen c1 move, I thought you played that game pretty well. Yeah, pretty well. All right. Yeah. Okay. No, I like this. And good annotations. Right. And he's saying he's often losing because of a one-move blunder. In this game, he does not do it. And definitely at the rating he's at, that's the thing that's going to be holding him back. All right, now, my friends, I have a problem where it's not doing the correctamundo screen. It's a real hassle. So now I got to get the correctamundo screen here. All right, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Next up, we have Colton. And he says, I did it, Mom. That's a good one. All right. Now, is it going to go to Colton now? Let's just look. Ah, there it is. Now it's working. I don't know why it wasn't working before. You can see Colton is a very busy man. 1441, looking great. He doesn't say anything about himself, though, and no games. So, Colton, yes, you did it. But we need to see more, bud. We need to see some things. All right. Now, is it going to show the right one? Now we're back onto it. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong before. Now we have Bon Hobbit, who has done a lot of work and has a lot of games. Let's go check out the Bon Hobbit. I'm going to give Bon Hobbit a follow. You can see this man has been busy. Yeah, very busy. So well done there. Well done with the point, let's call it the trajectory of the rating. That looks great. Doesn't say anything about himself, though. So Bon Hobbit, tell us something. And these look like ancient games. Yeah, so these are some ancient games. Bon Hobbit, we need some more recent games, but otherwise you're looking good. All right, now we're going to try to see if this is working and see if Mindset by Dave. He's been around for a while. I like this guy, Mindset by Dave. And he's not logging anything that I'm able to see. He is going up an amazing amount. UK Dojo. He does have some games, but they're ancient. So Dave, we need to see the recent games here. Yeah. All right. Well, Mindset by Dave, you know what you need. You're doing great, though. You're doing great. All right. Next up, we got a couple people who might be too proud to do games. We'll see. All right. This is Anazli. Anazli, 17 to 1800. Anazli doesn't tell us anything and doesn't have any games. So, Anazli, we really want to see it. Great that we get a strong player like you in the dojo. Then we got Austin, maybe a similar situation. Can you give Austin a follow? Also nothing. Nothing. So clubs, nothing. Games, nothing. Maybe too proud. Maybe too proud. All right. So, next up we have Eric Diaz. What does Eric got going on? 1811, very strong player. Great graduation. Doesn't say nothing. Clubs, games, nothing. All right. And finally, the famous Represso. I'm moving myself into the correct cohort after switching to ECF. All right, beautiful. Let's see what's going on with Represso. So there it is, ECF. Oh yeah, this guy. This guy is super serious. Using his ECF, I think when I began seeing Represso, he was using an online rating. So this is great. All right. Does he have some recent stuff? Here we got the heat map heroes. Loads of games. And we got David facing the Represso as our final game of the day. Let me make sure no one's shouting at me from the famous... no, that's not important. At least not yet. So... oh, crap, where did we go? I think I just blew it. So here's Represso. I got to open it again. I'm having grief. Games. My games. David Represso. Here we go. Hopefully this is going to work out okay. We got the time graph. Look at that bad boy. Beautiful. Houseline, thank you for rating. And we also must be getting followed or put on the page of chess.com because we're getting like a gazillion people. I promise you, my friends, we don't actually have 1,400 people watching. We just are up there on the chess.com page, which, thankful for. If you are just joining us, this is the dojo training program. And what we do is the people who graduate, who go from one cohort to the next, like Represso here, we take a look at their profile, take a look at a game that they've played. And Represso is a very ambitious young player from England. And you can see here, he wrote down these times, and it was a very beautiful use of time right there. This is 1:30. Okay, so let's get into it. We'll go to this little game review template. All right, bang. All right, thanks again, Houseline. Here we go, boom, Represso. Fine. 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 Okay. Good. Good. H3. Bishop D7. Now, A4. Good. Now, what we can say is here is that even though knight B5 is technically a loss of time, the main benefit that white got from this was making our knight on A6 very poor. Oh, and he's saying the board is frozen. We can't see the moves. What is going on today? All right, let's just see here if we can fix this. No, board is totally frozen. Wait, maybe if I do it this way. There we go. I've had some technical grief today, Houseline. Thank you for pointing that out. So we'll start it off again, and I'll show it. This is a common thing that we get in the, let's call it Yubaba London. And I think you could call it a positional trap, really, because at first glance, it seems like, oh, he's playing knight b5 and I'm playing knight a6, and I am doing fine because he's wasting development. But the problem is that the knight on a6 is so miserable that it's a good position for white. All right, so here we go. Bishop c6, and he calls it a meaningless move. It's hard, honestly, to know what to do here. You can't play rook c8 because your pawn on a7 falls. So not easy. I wouldn't know what to do either. All right, so bishop c6. Normal development. And now we'd make a little controversial moment here with c4. And now queen a5. So I think what's going on is black is frustrated by this whole situation. And now it's going to go pawn hunting. White obliges by playing the knight back. So he undevelops his knight, and that allows black a lot of freedom. So what queen a5 does from a competitive standpoint that's interesting is it says, hey, if I'm going to suffer, I'm going to at least get a pawn for it. And black is like, white's like, no, I can't do that. I can't even imagine losing a pawn. So now we get to move our knight. We weren't able to do that before. Knight ce8, that's a little funky, but I guess. That's also kind of funky. Bring it in, and then white does this thing. So this is an example, his opponent, of somebody who's unfortunately learned this Yobava London. And we did an earlier game where the problem is these players, they end up doing weird stuff like g4 and f3 because they've seen it as part of a different situation. But then they don't know what to do in these things or when it's appropriate to play f3. As Moada, thank you for rating. This is the Dojo training program. We're looking at Represso's profile in game. We're talking a little bit at the moment about the Yobava London and how hard it is for white to play. He could be making some unprincipled moves here, like g4 and f3. Good. h4, again, not concerned with his development at all. h6. It's good. The principled play by black. Good. Queen b1. Nice. And now he plays f5. So, white's problem is the knight went from hero to 0, and now his king is like, well, bro, where am I supposed to be living at? Where am I supposed to be living at? Thank you. Just that with chit chatter, I'm doing all right. And white needs to close the position down before it gets out of hand here, I think, with g5. All right, so he takes. He's going to give up his best piece, and now that bishop on d6 is angry. Now he's going to open up the e file for our rook. f4, that can't be bad. And now a6, which I'm going to call a clever move. Even if the computer says that it finds something better, doesn't matter to me, because we really want to just control the knight. More frisky would be a move like maybe rook e7. Now white should consider some kind of b3, b4 thing. He's got to get this guy activated. He can't just let him sit there. But he does. He plays queen d1. Now maybe we're threatening bishop f4. Bishop c6. He's not thinking about his knight. In general, we can say that the problem at this level is people aren't sensitive to their poor pieces. And he talks about bishop a3, shattering the structure. I don't understand that move. I don't understand that. I guess I can understand that move. And we're just taking forever. And while we were taking forever, we allowed white to fix his knight. Oh, no. And now the milk has gone bad, apparently. Queen g2. He likes queen h3 better. It looks... Yeah, so the problem with queen g2 is potentially we have something on e3. He should probably just go back. He goes here. Knight f3. Okay, white's still much better. Boom, boom. And now queen g3. He talks about queen h1. He's got a lot of good moves. Knight g5 also looks like a nice move for white. He talks about rook a8. And now this happens. And he wants fe5, which is more natural. Instead we get this. Good. reasonable. And what we're seeing is your opponent is so happy to be a passive player here. That's natural. I like your b4 suggestion, even if it seems a little computery to me. Fine. Fine. And now you say white's a little better. Maybe. I don't know why. The pass pawn isn't too meaningful. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's better. Your rook on a2 is such a dominant force. It's hard to imagine that he is better. Good. Fine. Fine. Yeah. Now, we should maybe second guess all this stuff. You say bishop f7 and rook a8. Let's go back a second, actually. So, queen e7, king e7, king e1. Now, I want to stress it isn't actually easy. It isn't easy to know what we should do here. Okay, maybe I'm coming around. Remember, Represso, you might have convinced me. Maybe it is actually white. Just because our bishop is so miserable, even though we have this gorgeous rook. And it's hard. You criticize king c6, but it's hard to imagine a different move because you had a whole plan here. And then he's getting you here, huh? All right. You talk about rook a1. That would be a hard move to play. A lot of these things, what I'm feeling is I'm seeing like it feels like computer analysis of what we're doing here. Boom. Okay. Then you say one move too early. Boom, nice. And you talk about bishop f5. Great variations, Represso. One of the things I just want to say about people watching this is I often see variations when I'm looking at game annotations where the end games are just people don't cover them. And I was actually analyzing a nasty end game that I played recently, and I realized, oh, it's so much work to do the end game. And this is the kind of variation we need to be looking at. Does feel lost. Does feel lost. And then you also analyze. You kept going. King c2, yeah. Interesting. Wow, that's interesting position. Yeah, interesting position. I'm just thinking about it for a second. Wow, good analysis. So yeah, that's the kind of analysis we need to do to get better. Genius. Genius. Now rook c7. Why rook c7? I don't understand. Seems like he just helped you there. Now you played rook f2. Okay. And now king d3. Beautiful. He's got to watch himself here. This guy, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he's done himself a service. I think he's lucky he's not getting wasted here. Rook e2, good move. c3, we could consider d4. Yeah, and you do, good. And now you say king d4 is simpler, but I just want to stress there's nothing simple about the move king d4. King d4 is a very hard move to visualize. And then, you go look at your time situation. It's, you don't have a lot of time here. d4 is definitely the natural move to play. And now he's getting you. Oh, man. That was brutal. Wow. Okay. I want to say, first of all, that that was a great annotation, and that when we think about the pillars of the dojo, how you improve, this is how it's done. Okay? So we can be mad that we lost the game, but this was an excellent analysis, a really good analysis. And it's the kind of thing that's so unpleasant to look at a game that you lost. And I liked this game in terms of its annotation a lot. And yeah, you should be killing these people. These people here who play moves like knight a3 and g4 and yada yada. Yeah. Okay, my friends, that was great. Now we got rated, and now we're gonna rate somebody too here. So who are we gonna rate? We are here every Wednesday. This is the Chess Dojo Training Program graduate show. I don't know who I should rate. Let's raid, I don't know, somebody I don't know. This is Chess-O for Fun. Doom. Joe Bruin, thank you. We'll be back next week. Say hello to Chess for Fun. I don't know this person. And if you haven't already, check out the Dojo live classes in addition to our training program. It's pretty cool. We talked a little bit about it earlier in the show. Bye, everybody.